By the following small businesses. Real property management focus. The choice to make when you want to feel confident and secure in knowing that your investment is earning the profit it deserves. The Financial Point, your go-to spot for all things finance. Platinum Eagle Insurance, providing the widest range of insurance options to make insurance easy and seamless. WeatherTech General Contracting. We make your home renovation dreams a reality. Lender's Choice Credit Solutions. We do all the work. You get all the credit. And by Power on Utilities Concierge, your one-stop shop for all of your home's essential services.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Charmaine Byers here, and you have reached Chit Chat with Char, where our vision is to connect, collaborate, and cultivate. I have the distinct honor and privilege of speaking with Mr. John Donnelly today. John Donnelly is a part of Service First Mortgage. He is an executive sales director, and he has done some amazing things for our company. And as well as a lot of our agents. So I just wanted to spend some time to talk with him. So without further ado, John, join us.
Thank you, Char.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Yeah, Happy New Year. This is going to be an awesome year. I'm really excited.
It is. So before we jump right in, give us a little bit more information about you, who you are, what you do, your passions, and things of that nature.
Yeah, I'll try to give you my real quick story. I started in mortgage in 1996 as a loan officer. I was in some call centers for a while, and I wanted to become what I thought was a real loan officer. So I went to a mortgage company where I started generating referral-based business in about 2000, and spent a long time building my business. And I found my passion was helping to develop others and help them develop their business. So over time, I kind of built my production up. I built a branch, kind of spun off to a couple other branches, and now fast forward a few years later, it's been almost 25 years in the business, and I lead a coaching culture. I do recruiting. I help people grow their business, and that seems to be the thing I love doing the most. And so I've seen a lot, been through some crazy stuff, and I still love this business. It's great.
Wow. So 25 years in the business. I mean, you don't look 25. So did you start this in kindergarten?
I appreciate that. No, maybe I was young in the business, but I wasn't in kindergarten. So, no, I've been blessed to have an awesome run, and I've definitely seen some things. If you look back on the mortgage meltdown and some of the challenges that we've been through, I've had to navigate those waters and had some challenges to go through and come out better, and still shapes some of the decisions I make today. So,
Right. So I know mortgage has gone through a lot. Right now, we're seeing, record numbers and purchases this year. The sales prices are up. So tell me a little bit about what's happening in the market right now, if you could share that.
Yeah, sure. Here's what I'm seeing. We slowed down just a little bit for the holidays, like always. And just in the last couple of weeks, it's starting to be busy again, kind of like last year. I'm starting to hear multiple offers are coming back just right now. People are looking for houses. There's not enough inventory, and people are moving to, at least to, our area here in Dallas-Fort Worth, in droves as fast as they can. So we're building houses as quick as we can, but we can't keep up with the demand. So it's really a seller's market. It's hard for buyers to get a house, and it's challenging. So you've got to work with the right mortgage companies to make sure your offer is done in a way that can help you stand out from everybody else. And you need a real estate professional like yourself to really make the difference and get those offers accepted. So, that's what I see. Interest rates are going up, right? That's a hot topic right now.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to keep going up a little bit, maybe settle out in the summer around in the fours, and then maybe just kind of stabilize, or even maybe just trickle down a little bit, but kind of be in that mid fours. That's the different, talking heads, if you say, that I'm listening to are telling me, and the graphs that we look at, and kind of our expectations for this year are that we're going to see rising rates because of inflation.
Right.
Make it a little bit more challenging to buy houses, because when you see inflation, the houses are going up, and then when rates go up, it's just higher payments. The house values aren't going down, so it makes it a little bit more challenging. As a company, we're expecting purchase volume to go up 7%. So it was really strong. It's going to continue to be really strong. So that's exciting for me.
Yeah.
When times get challenging, that's when I say we take ground. We set ourselves apart. And that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it, is there's opportunity right now to really separate ourselves and step up. It's hard. It's hard when the market is like it is, but that's what makes us professionals and helps us do better than everybody else. So
Right. So I know that you mentioned that for buyers, it's a little bit difficult because it is a seller's market. Do you have any tips or any recommendations that we could share with our viewers or listeners?
Yeah, that's a great one. You kind of teed me up for something our company did. We sat down last year and said, how can we help our buyers get their offers accepted, and what are the things we can do? We came up with a program we call Certified Buyer. And what that does for us is it lets us get somebody pre-qualified. We go all the way through the underwriting process, meaning that we put your complete loan package in front of an underwriter. They give us their conditions. We go through the process before you even make an offer on a house. This isn't a deal where we just run an automated underwriting and we tell you that your loan's approved. We go through the entire process. Then when you go make an offer, we call the listing agent, we call the buyer's agent, we put a certificate out there, and we explain to them, this is a certified buyer. We've done all our work up front. As quick as we can get an appraisal and title, we can close. We're done. And we really think that's given our buyers a big advantage over other offers. You still have the right partner. So it's really important for you to get the right numbers there and the right offer there. And we have to partner together as we're communicating to the seller to get our offer accepted. But it really makes a difference when we're working as a team to just kind of set ourselves apart. So that's been our biggest win this last year, is to have this program and to work it the way we have been doing it. That's what I see as the one difference maker for us.
That's awesome. So tell me, you guys started that program last year, right?
Yep, last year.
Okay. So what kind of success did you guys have with that? Do you have like numbers?
Honestly, I don't know the exact numbers. We started, we rolled it out with only conventional loans first, just to make sure we could deliver on it the way we wanted. We guaranteed a 19-day close behind it. If we didn't make that closing, then we paid the seller up to $2,000. So we had that going. And then we added FHA, we added VA. And honestly, those are the ones we wanted to help the most. I know a couple of success stories where we've done a certified buyer for a veteran, and then we've called the listing agent. We said, look, this is for a VA loan. I know that makes you nervous. It shouldn't, but it makes you nervous. They still qualify for conventional, but this is a veteran. They've earned the right to have no down payment. They've earned the right for this VA loan. Please consider our offer. And we've gotten these deals accepted on VA loans by having the extra conversation, by writing the letters, by having the certified buyer program. Just, you got to go the extra mile for our buyers. And that's what we've seen as some big wins as far as that goes.
And that's so important. I mean, our veterans, I think, are overlooked a lot. And I know there is a huge misconception about the VA loan product. What is some advice that you could give to a real estate agent who may be listing a property and has to present a VA loan offer?
Yeah, that's great. I think that a misconception is about the appraisal. That's one. That VA is the only loan product that we have to order the appraisal through VA.
The VA.
But they have 10 days to deliver that appraisal. To be honest, that's faster than some of the other appraisers are doing right now. So that shouldn't scare people. The appraisers we're not seeing VA appraisals coming lower than we are other appraisals. In fact, sometimes it's the same appraisers doing conventional and VA and FHA.
Right.
So it hasn't been a big deal for us. Property, condition sometimes comes into play.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, maybe there's a handrail or something funny that every once in a while pops up, but there's not big hurdles we see on the lending side that's like, oh my gosh, this house will never go through VA. I think of it kind of like FHA. Is there flaky paint or wood rot or something like that? And it hasn't been that bad, to be honest. We can do some escrow holdbacks and help people through those situations if we need to. I just think that there's a big misconception about VA loans, and it drives me crazy. I was given the privilege recently to go speak at the military base over in Fort Worth, and they brought in 70 veterans and put them in front of us, and we just said, hey guys, here's some things a benefit for your VA loan. What are the misconceptions you guys have, and how can we help you take benefit or take advantage of this benefit? And we had so many questions, and people just don't understand. They don't understand how good the product is. They don't understand that it's no money down. There's no monthly mortgage insurance. And I think that sellers, they don't understand it either. So they think that maybe it's harder to get qualified or something. The loan may not go through. That's not the case. They go through all the time. So,
and I think it's about education for the real estate agent, because we're the ones responsible for communicating to our clients. And the way we communicate to our clients can influence their decision on whether or not they're going with a VA loan or not.
Yes, I agree with you. It's so important. Your communication matters a lot. We can only help you so much, but as representing the buyer, if you're the buyer's agent, you're the one that really can tell the story for them.
Right. So how about, do you guys offer any VA loan certifications? I know there are some mortgage companies out there that do like a VA certification for real estate agents. Do you offer anything like that?
Well, that's funny you say that. We talked about it recently. We did in the past, but it was a long time ago, maybe up to 8 or 9 years ago. And so we've done some classes recently on it, but we haven't made it a certification. We could, but we definitely can teach the classes. We have the information. We do a lot of VA loans, and that's something we could do. And that's something we're passionate about, to be honest. So as a company, we've done a lot of fundraisers in the past and done things to help veterans through building houses and doing boot campaigns and a lot of cool stuff. So it's something that we really are passionate about.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we love our veterans. My husband and I, we have benefited from a VA loan product. My husband served in the military, in the U.S. Navy. So we love our veterans, and I'm very happy that that you guys are offering products and are helping our veterans get into homes. So that's key.
Great. I love that. I didn't know that. So that's cool to hear about him.
Yeah, he served. And, one of the things that it surprises me, you mentioned it before, is that a lot of the veterans don't even understand about the product.
They don't understand. They don't know what the credit requirements are, what's involved, what the down payment is. There's so many questions they have. So we actually did this presentation recently, and then we've built this landing page with a bunch of information I can share with you. We're almost done because of this recent event. So it's cool. It's something we've been passionate about that we're starting to market more and help, because it's just educational. We want to help our veterans understand. So
absolutely. Before we take off too far, we're getting ready to honor and thank our sponsors. So I just want to thank our sponsors for everything that they do for me and this show. They have made it possible. So I'm very excited and just thankful.
You are watching Chit Chat with Char, hosted by Charmaine Byers and powered by The Difference, the voice of small businesses and the communities they serve. Today's show is made possible by the following small business partners: Power on Utilities, Texas Best Utility Concierge Service, The Financial Point, your go-to spot for all things finance, and by WeatherTech General Contracting, specializing in high-end remodeling, roof repair, and commercial build-outs for more than 10 years. And now back to the show.
Yes, thank you to our sponsors. So, John, we were talking about the VA loan product. We're talking about buyers, the low inventory that's out there. Where are we going? Where do you see us going? I know that you said interest rates are going up. What does the future hold for us?
Well, if you look at Texas and DFW and kind of where we're at, the future is bright. It's going to continue to be a seller's market. I don't think that we're in a housing bubble. You know, people are asking about that.
Right.
My friends are telling me, hey, I'm going to buy a house eventually because I'm going to wait for prices to go down. I'm like, you guys are crazy. These prices aren't going down. I think, you know, the new norm is what's set in and we haven't quite adjusted to it. These are the prices going forward and it's going to go up from here. And you missed your opportunity. And we all didn't know it, but when the pandemic started, that was the opportunity. And now we have to adjust our expectations and what we pay and how much our payments are, all that. It's going to keep growing. You know, there's just huge demand coming into Texas. They're coming from everywhere, from, you know, they say California and all that, but people are coming here from everywhere.
Right.
And, there's new businesses moving here every day. And so it's a great time to be in Texas. I think it's a great time to own a house or buy investment properties and all that type of thing. We did see changes recently. Last week, the Fannie Mae and FHFA decided to increase the pricing hits for second homes. That was a big deal, kind of going around. We'll see if that holds. They did this to investment properties and changed everything up last year and then kind of pulled back on it and adjusted. So more people could do investment homes. They almost made it where it's almost impossible. And they finally came back to their senses. Maybe that'll happen here with these second homes. But basically what just happened is second homes became almost the same as investment properties as far as down payments and that type of thing. So I don't know all the reasons behind it, but I know that's where the world we live in, and people are asking, you know, a lot of people are buying second homes or lake houses or, you know, short-term rental properties and all that kind of stuff. So they want to get in on the market. It's hot and it's going to keep going up. So, you know, it makes it hard to make more inventory available when you go look to sell your house and the one that you want to buy is so much more expensive. People are just stuck, I think, you know. I think more people want to move if they can, but they don't know what to do yet.
So what are we going to do about that? Because I am thinking about the prices increasing. What is that going to look like for affordable housing?
I think it's a real challenge. You know, affordable housing I think you have to go out further, which makes it challenging. The good thing with that is, you know, a lot of jobs you don't have to drive into anymore. And so people are, you know, I feel like it's the Great Reset for some reason. There's this moment in time where, you know, everybody's challenging the way they used to do things, how they, you know, worked and where they went to work and where they live and what their house looks like and all this stuff, right?
Yes.
We're having people that we can't even get, you know, people to go to work sometimes. Well, I think some of those people are working, but they're working in different jobs. They're working in different roles. They've said, I don't want to work at, you know, Starbucks or wherever it is. I want to do this. And they're taking this opportunity to change their life and do something different. That's what I see. And so, yeah, we do need help in those businesses, but I think it will come around. This is kind of interesting. I have a friend that he's in another business in Boston, and he lives pretty close to MIT. And he said there's a restaurant that some MIT students opened recently. That's a high-end restaurant, and it's completely ran with robots. The robots, you can see them cook the food. They have these combustible fires that cook everything, and then it serves you. And it's a line out the door, and everybody wants to go, and no employees work there. 2 guys own it, and that's it.
Oh
And
my
maybe that's
God.
the future, right? Maybe we can't get people to work in some of these jobs. We automate and build these robots and do this stuff to help fill that void. I don't know, but it just made me think about that, and I thought that was a neat thing that was going on up there.
That is neat, but it's also very scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been reading an article and following the news about the Great Recession or the Great Resignation.
Yes.
And so just thinking about that, oh my goodness, a restaurant, a high-end restaurant that is pretty much ran by robots.
Completely.
Is this like the Jetsons?
It is. You know, I that's funny you say that. I read a book recently called "The Future is Faster Than You Think," and it's a couple years old, but it basically tells you why right now the reality of the Jetsons that we've all grown up watching is happening right before our eyes. Technology is cheaper than ever, is more available than ever, and it's all converging on itself. I didn't think about it until I read this book, but I looked outside and there's a trash guy with a robot, arm dumping my trash, and there's a Roomba robot cleaning my floor, and you kind of look around and in the Alexas, you can tell it to do stuff, and you're like, it is kind of getting that way already, and you don't even realize it,
And it's a subtle thing. Let's see what we have coming up here.
Yeah, that's the book right there. That book is fascinating. In that book, it tells you that they have flying cars. Dallas is one of the markets, and that there's already pods up. And supposedly this year, you're going to see the first test flights going for Uber and flying cars to different areas. Like it's happening before our eyes.
That is crazy. And thinking about that, like Amazon using drones to make deliveries, and it's just something. And you're right. I think people are choosing to work differently. And so with that in mind, people are working from home. They're working for themselves, going into entrepreneurship. My son recently shared with me an app where he can work daily jobs. So what is that going to look like as far as like getting loan approvals? When you have people working in that way, what is that going to look like for future home buyers?
That's a great question. It's, it can be challenging. There's going to be, we're going to look at them as self-employed. And when you're self-employed and you don't have a 2-year history of being self-employed, it gets challenging. And so you can't overcome that, but you need more money down. And sometimes people that start a new business don't have 20% down also, to buy a house. So it's definitely going to be challenging. Depends on if they're in the same line of work they've been in. There's some things to look at to help make that a little bit easier, but it is going to be challenging, to get them qualified if they're starting their own business and doing that type of thing. So they need to know to, get pre-qualified. We'd love to talk to people before they're ready to buy a house and just make sure they know what to do. And I don't think people, always think about that. Sometimes they'll just drive by and see a house and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm ready to buy." And you're like, "You're not ready." Let's talk about this a little bit more. And so, planning is going to be important, and education is going to be important for those people.
Absolutely. Especially when you have a buyer that's coming from renting, there's so much more responsibility when it comes to home ownership that I don't think is being communicated properly. The maintenance of a home, keeping up in Texas with the foundation and making sure that you're taking care of that. You don't get to call a maintenance person to come in and service anything that's broken, that you're responsible for that.
Right.
I think buyers should seek a financial planner before getting into the home buying process, so that they can look at their finances as a whole, because that's something that you or myself won't be able to do. You can look at their financials to get them qualified, but then as a whole, they need to be looking at their entire financial picture, saving and things of that nature. And I don't think that's happening.
I don't think it's happening very often. As part of the loan application, we see, people's full financial picture. We know they have savings or financial planner and all that kind of stuff. And it's amazing how many people don't, or they could really benefit from the advice of a good CPA or a good financial planner. I believe in everything you're saying. I mean, this is kind of funny, but I'm really passionate about, if you tell your money what to do, it will do it. If you don't,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's a thing I talk to my kids about. I talk to my friends about. I'm like, if you want to have success in life, have a plan for your money to do something, that's going to be, beneficial to you long term, because your future self will thank you for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am just thinking about like these youngsters coming up, the millennials, and how they think, how they work, and how different that's going to be for them. Some of them are making more money than, than we are at our age now. They walk out of, high school or college making more money. So they have the liquidity to be able to purchase, but then it's like understanding the long term, what is that going to look like? And like you said, making your money do what you want it to do. Otherwise, it will disappear.
It just goes, and these kids will buy them a new car or whatever the next, or an NFT or whatever the thing is that's cool right now. And maybe that's a great investment, or maybe it's not. But yeah, it bothers me to think that these kids are making this money and they don't have a plan. And one of the things I do, this is kind of a side note, there's a game called Cash Flow. It's a board game.
Yes.
And I play that with my kids, and I talk about it with people, and it really creates some really fun conversations around life and managing money. And that's a great thing for parents to do. And I'm real passionate about that.
It's a great game.
I love it.
It's a great game. Cash Flow, we play that with our family as well. We do it during our legacy meetings. We have a legacy meeting once a month. Okay. And we have played that game on several occasions, and we love it. We love it.
Yeah, it is great.
It is. And it's easy to have those kind of conversations when you're playing a game, because it seems fun. And I think you can communicate a little bit more when it's a game versus you trying to communicate to them outside of any real, like if they're not purchasing anything right now, sometimes it's not relevant.
Right.
But to be able to play a game, that's something that they'll remember. They'll definitely remember. My sons are all in their 20s, and quite often they're asking, like, when are we going to play the game again? We're going to come over to play. So it's a great game. I'm glad you brought that game up, because it is really nice. I haven't seen any other games like that.
Me neither. That's the only one I know of. I got introduced to it 20 years ago, probably, and we played it a bunch when I was younger, and I forgot about it. And as my kids were getting older, I remembered I found it one day, and we have been just playing. We've played it quite a few times lately. And it's funny how they get the career card and they're like, oh, I'm a doctor. I'm like, you're successful. They're like, oh, I got all these bills to pay, and it's hard to get out of the rat race. And, they're like, I just want to be the mechanic. It's so funny. They think about things so different. That game really challenges you. So it's fun.
It does. It does. I like giving that game out as like a door prize, and, for different things that I host an event, because I think that's a really good game. So that's my way of introducing other people to it, because it's a great game. I love it.
That's awesome. Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
Tell me what that legacy meeting is.
So we're going to have a couple of sponsors.
Okay.
Here shortly. When we come back from the break, we'll go into that.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. I'd love to hear what that is, because it's right in line with what we're talking about. So
absolutely. So when we come back from our break, we'll get into it, because I'm afraid that we'll go long and we'll miss being able to welcome our sponsors and just thank them for the opportunity to put this show on. I could not do what I do without people around that support and that help me to put it together. It's all truly about delegation.
That's right. There's a lot that goes into this thing, and just kind of showing up here and seeing what you guys are up to. This is a production. This is great. You guys are doing an awesome job. So it's awesome.
And it cannot be done without our sponsors.
That's right.
So we're going to break right now.
The difference is made possible by the following small businesses: real property management focus, the choice to make when you want to feel confident and secure in knowing that your investment is earning the profit it deserves. The Financial Point, your go-to spot for all things finance. Platinum Eagle Insurance, providing the widest range of insurance options to make insurance easy and seamless. WeatherTech General Contracting, we make your home renovation dreams a reality. Lender's Choice Credit Solutions, we do all the work. You get all the credit. And by Power on Utilities Concierge, your one-stop shop for all of your home's essential services.
All right, and we're back. So our legacy meetings basically are monthly legacy meetings, and we come together. And before COVID, we were really, really active in doing some type of activity. So what our legacy meetings consist of is normally it's on a Saturday or Sunday, depending on work schedules, because we have adults and young adults, so it's hard to get everybody together. But we come together and we have a little agenda. And we sometimes we run it like a business meeting, and then other times we still have an agenda of what we're going to do. We do prayer, we pray, we do a quick Bible study or scripture reading, and then we talk about what we're all working on so that we can kind of hold each other accountable for some of the things that we have goals about doing. One of the things that for me, that my kiddos always come back to me and they're like, where are you at with this? So I have a goal to write a book or a couple of books. And they ask every single time, like, where are you at with it? And it's like, yeah, that's on my long list of things to do. But it's a great way for us to keep each other accountable. We do an activity within that legacy meeting. So sometimes it's playing a game if we're at home. Sometimes it's just going around to the different restaurants in the city. Another thing that I'll have them to do sometimes is if we go to a restaurant that we're not familiar with, and maybe it's Greek food or something like that, I'll have them to do some research on that food and that culture so that we can discuss that over dinner. So we are a blended family. So together, my husband and I have 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3, and then I have 2 bonus kids. So our young adults, excuse me,
Yeah.
they would hate it if I call them kids. So and so together we have 5 kids. So we're blended, and of course they're all doing different things. So it's our way of kind of bringing it together and making sure that we stay close, even with everything that we have going on. So because they're getting busy, my oldest son now has a son, my first grandson. So he's really busy. So it's really hard to get him to come. So what we will do is start doing some virtual stuff. We're going to really tap into Zoom. I mean, that's one of the great things that COVID brought about was, technology and being able to use it and not spend so much time in a car trying to get to meetings or destinations. So yeah, that's what our legacy meetings consist of.
That's great. I love it. Congratulations on being a new grandmother.
Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. You have no idea. It's a different kind of love. I don't know. It's like a different level of love that you don't even realize you have. It's amazing. It really is.
I'm not quite ready for it. My son is 21 and my daughter's 18, but it's not going to be too long until I get
it's right around the corner.
I know it'll be here fast.
Mm-hmm.
They felt like they were just little kids the other day, and we were going to soccer practice or whatever. And now they're adults, and we're having adult conversations. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happened? It's
crazy. So my grandson, he will be 1 in March.
Okay.
He has teeth. He has 4 teeth.
Wow.
And I'm just looking at this kid like, oh my God, he's going to be a teenager tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, literally. He's
Incredible.
talking and trying to stand up and laughing. And he's very, very observant.
Yeah.
Very observant. I mean, he pays attention. He follows his dad around. I mean, it's just amazing what these kids can do these days. I'm looking at my kids like, you guys are dumb. You weren't doing anything. You weren't doing
I
any
know
of
it.
this stuff.
It's amazing. Yep, it is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess with the technology and just everything, it's just so much. It really is.
So are any of your kids trying to buy houses? Are they at
So
that point yet?
they're not at that point yet. I'm always trying to talk to them about that. But they're just not quite there yet, mindset wise.
Yeah.
And it's a big step. So it's like I want to make sure that they're ready overall,
Yeah.
not only financially, but they're getting pretty close. They're getting to the age of, especially my older one, where he has a son and trying to build a family. And so there's a lot of things that he's going to be looking at. And I told him, I'm your realtor.
Yeah.
So,
That's right. Let's
so
go.
whenever you get ready, I'm here for you.
Start building some equity in a house.
Exactly. And just talking to them about that. That's one of the things that we do talk about often in our legacy meetings is we talk about credit. Dane Wilson, who is one of the partners here, or one of the sponsors for the show, he recently wrote a book, and I bought that book for every single one of my kids. And so it's like any opportunity that I have to share with them about credit, their finances, I try to do that because that's something that I didn't get coming up.
I didn't either. I agree with you.
I mean, it's just like it was so taboo to talk about money.
And credit matters more than just buying a house. It matters in your car insurance rates and all these other things in life, and in credit cards and just all kinds of stuff.
Right.
We need to educate more and more and more. It just matters so much. And I don't know that they teach it in schools. I don't know that kids are going to get it unless their parents teach them or
Right.
they learn from books or wherever. And so we've got to educate our children more. And, there's different people out there, that can teach some of this, and not all of them give the best advice sometimes. So,
right.
There's some mixed opinions even of the messages that are being taught. So credit is important. It's so important. I talk to my kids about it too, but they don't make enough money to realize how to save as much and all that. We're barely just getting into the world right now. So they'll be ready. It's our job as parents to do that. And I don't think all parents even know themselves sometimes what to teach. So.
And I think that's half the battle. I tell my kids all the time, I don't think I really started to understand about money, finances, credit, and all of that until I was well into my 30s. Mm-hmm. And that is way too old.
Yeah, it's too late.
Really have a really good grasp on, okay, what this could do if you have a good credit score, your buying power, what you can buy, how much you can buy. All of that is really dependent on your credit scores. And I just wasn't given that information, and no dig on my parents, but I mean, you just didn't. I was raised by my grandmother, and you surely wasn't talking about money with her. You couldn't talk about money or sex. It was out of the question. Those were two things that, you just didn't talk about. And you almost felt guilty for asking if you had questions.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my younger son, and we were just talking about credit. We were talking about like the way that I raised them. And I can remember oftentimes that I would tell them they never went without anything. They had everything they wanted. But I remember having physical conversations with them, verbal conversations with them, telling them, oh, we're broke. And looking back on that now, it wasn't that we were broke. I should have really had a real conversation with them to say that our money is spent for this roof over our head.
Yes, exactly.
The electricity, when you get to play your game, that's because of the electricity that we've paid for. So instead of having conversations like that, it would I pretty much did what I was taught. Like, we just didn't
Yeah.
talk about it when they were coming up. So that was the main reason why I started the legacy meetings, because once I came into the realization that I wasn't really communicating to my children and telling them what they needed to do, I was like, okay, I got to reverse this. So called it a legacy meeting. You know, we talk about credit. I mean, we talk about credit a lot, because it's something that I don't think you can never get enough of. It's so important, and it's not talked about nearly enough.
I agree with that. And then if you have saved some money, how do you invest that money? That probably comes up some in those meetings, I would guess.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah,
fun conversations to
yeah.
talk about, and buying properties or buying stocks or just saving money. And
Right.
I wish somebody would have done that earlier in my, as I was growing up, and it would have mattered. But, at least we can break the cycle and talk to our kids at a young age. And
Absolutely. And you know, the one of the things that's really different from when we were coming up, um, everything is at their fingertips. So if they have a question about anything, they can type it in. They can go on their phones, go online, and
yeah,
find any topic that they want to discuss,
exactly.
or anything that they want to know about. They can go online and learn all about it. You know?
In a moment, you can say, "Hey Siri" or "Hey Alexa" or whatever, and get the answer. I know when I was growing up, we had to go to encyclopedia and read about what somebody wrote 20 years ago about that topic.
That was not relevant at all.
No, it didn't even matter. It's so different today, and the way technology has made information available, it's just gonna, you know, make growth in individuals so much faster. Companies start quicker. Kids are gonna have more success, like we said. It's
Yes,
crazy what's happening.
it is. It is. But I'm excited. I'm excited for them. But I think that even with all the technology that's out there, with all the information that's out there, as parents, we still have a duty to teach our kids. And it starts at home so that, you know, they can go out into the world and be successful. One
Right.
of the things that my husband and I did, we recently bought a postal center. So on the weekends that I have my grandson, I'll take him up there to work with us. And I'm like talking to him, I'm walking him around the store, like, you know, we're building a legacy for you, little man. And, you know, and those are things that I don't think, I just think we would all be so much further along had we had that information given to us and shared with us
Yeah, for sure.
earlier.
But yeah, I agree with you. It's exciting. So we have to incorporate that into our business too, and educate people more so they can
Right.
hopefully pass that down into their families. Is the way I look at it.
Right. It's so important. I mean, it's really, really important. And I think we sometimes miss the ball. If we're looking at the education system to teach our children about finances, I just don't think that it's going to be given there. We have to do it as parents.
Yep, I agree with you. I know I was talking to my daughter recently, and she's never been taught or knows how to write a check, and I thought that was interesting. They don't even need checks nowadays. Everything's kind of automated, but they're not teaching that stuff in school.
No,
Not
no.
teaching.
And it's funny that you say that, because I was in the postal store one weekend, and this young man came into the store, and he did not know how to write out an envelope to mail something.
Oh my gosh,
Isn't that something?
it's crazy to think about.
It's so crazy. And, you know, after I gave him the side eye,
Yeah,
it was like, what do you mean? But then it's like, okay, you have to bring it back. Let me help you. So I showed him, he didn't know where to put the to and from.
yeah,
I mean, he was just at a real loss. And I
yeah,
was just surprised.
yeah.
I was
Well,
very surprised at that.
it's a parenting fail, I guess, but who knows the situation there. We got to teach our kids this stuff, and I guess they're going to learn somehow or another. But think about buying a house. How many young kids buying a house know how to write a check, for their just to get the process started? They don't know how to write checks. they don't know how to save money necessarily. It's just
No,
they don't understand the credit and how important it is. It's crazy. So
it is, but it's our duty to do that. And I think that we need to put some more things into place to be able to educate them.
right.
Yet we are going to prepare for our last and final sponsor acknowledgement. I just want to thank our sponsors again for everything that they do, and we'll be right back.
You are watching Chit Chat with Char, hosted by Charmaine Byers and powered by The Difference, the voice of small businesses and the communities they serve. Today's show is made possible by the following small business partners: Power on Utilities, Texas Best Utility Concierge Service, The Financial Point, your go-to spot for all things finance, and by WeatherTech General Contracting, specializing in high-end remodeling, roof repair, and commercial build-outs for more than 10 years. And now back to the show.
So, John, you mentioned in your write-up to me as we were preparing for the show that you are very passionate about people.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me where that passion comes from, and dig a little bit deeper into what that means to be passionate about people.
So big picture is I find myself, I call myself a servant leader. And to me, that means I want more for people than I want from people.
Yeah.
And where that comes from, I don't know exactly. I think it's just kind of innate how you're born. As a young kid, I was in Boy Scouts and found myself being elected the leader, and just kind of started growing from there in kind of a leadership and coaching role, and always have been that way. Even in silly things like fantasy football or something, I'm the one that kind of organizes it and holds the money. And I'm the
Right.
one that it kind of leads the charge a lot of times. An old neighbor of mine called me the Pied Piper for things, just because people would come behind me and do things, and so I don't know that I did that on purpose, but I don't know that's smart enough, but I recognize that and find myself in a position, in our company today where I say I lead a coaching culture, and that coaching culture is around, business planning and group coaching and in-person coaching and rallies and all this stuff. And I love it. It's fun to me. It's fun to challenge people and to give them information and see it blossom and grow, and then they have success. And that's what lights me up.
Yeah.
Passion about people is, in the mortgage business, some people, they move around companies and that type of thing. I've stayed in my company for 13 years, and that's kind of unheard of in some ways. And because not people don't stay a long time. And the reason is I love the people I work with. Bottom line, like that's the people that I've surrounded myself with make me better, and hopefully I make them better. And when you have that, everything else works out, the money and the success and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I'm passionate about. I feel like I have to constantly take in, learn from books and podcasts and doing things like this so I can share out into the world. My cup needs to overfill into other people. And as long as I'm doing that and I can pour into other people, life has meaning to me. That's kind of what it's about. Like,
Right.
there's meaning out there. So
Reading your statement and how you feel about people, I feel the exact same way. I love, love, love working with people. I love to serve. I enjoy it. So when I read it, it just made me smile, because you know how you connect with people and instantly you had that connection.
yes.
And I think you and I both,
Yeah,
when
we
we
do.
met, it was just like an instant connection there. And, reading your statement, it was just like, that's why we connect so well,
I
because
love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
we think alike as it relates to, being passionate about people and having a real true desire to help. And, I'm an open book. Anyone who knows me knows that whatever I have, you can have it.
Yep.
I'm not, I've never been the type of person that's ever been in competition with anybody, because I just firmly believe that what's for me is for me. And what's for you is for you. There's nothing that no one in this world can stop or get in front of that's going to stop me from being who God wants me to be.
I love it. I love how you said that. You know, when we were getting on this show today, sometimes I've done a couple of things like this before, and there's a little butterflies maybe or something.
Yeah,
I didn't have them with you today.
that's
I knew I was
good.
like, yeah, this is gonna be great. I know her. Like we connect. This will be easy. We'll just have a conversation,
Yes.
And I was excited to talk to you today for the same reasons that you just said. So that's great.
Right. And one of the things that, our podcast here is, it's very light. Like I said, it's unscripted. We're having conversations that are coming from the heart, and it's not anything that is planned or anything like that. And I know that some people, they want, they need to know exactly how the show is
Right.
going to go word for word. But I think it's more natural and it's more human when we can just have a really open-hearted conversation about whatever it is that we're talking about. And I think in that, I've been able to talk to some amazing people over the last several months. Just in launching this podcast, I didn't have any experience in this.
Yeah.
But again, when I talk about delegating and having people around you to do different things, people ask me all the time, how do you do all the stuff that you do? And I'm able to do everything that I do because I have people like Lyndon, our producer. I have people like Lori Arnold, my broker. So I have people around me that are supporting, that are helping me to do every single thing that I do. And none of it is done by myself. I just have the honor of being able to be the representative for it. But it's not anything that I'm doing by myself.
Well, it takes a village, and it's more fun to do it with a bunch of people than it is by yourself anyway. That's how I look at it. Let's all
Yeah.
do this together and have success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the main premises of the difference and the different shows that are broadcasted is we really want to make a difference in the communities that we serve. We really want to be able to touch people that may or may not have exposure like this, to be able to get them more exposure, to get people to talking about different things that may resonate with other people. We are so much more alike than we are different. And I think sometimes we fail to even realize that because of everything that goes on in the world. We all want the same things. And so why not come together and make it happen together for each other?
We're better together. We say that a lot.
Absolutely. 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 I love that. And I think that's really important for people to know and understand. I manage an office full of agents, and I get them involved as much as I can because it's like, this is your business. And because it's your business, I need you to be engaged. I need you to feel empowered because you can do great things. And I'm here to support and I'm here to cheer you on and find resources and details, whatever it is, because we want people to be successful, whatever their idea of success is. One of our, we had our first sales meeting for the year yesterday. And it was just so amazing to listen to our agents as they were just talking about, some of the things that they have come that have been a burden for them or that have hindered them from being the best them.
Yeah.
And one of the things that came up was the comparison of themselves with other people.
So true.
And just one of the agents mentioned that, it's a psychological thing. That, you see somebody doing something and you just automatically assume that they're successful, but we don't know the backstory. We don't know what's going on. in the background. You could see a multi-million-dollar producer, but is this producer happy? We see what we think is success, but it may not really and truly be success.
It is. You don't know what. I agree with that so much. And the only thing you should be gauging yourself against is your own personal best and where you're at. I was having a conversation with somebody recently who was struggling with that comparison because they got in the business at a certain time and another person did at another company.
Yes.
And they were right here and they felt like they should be there with them. I said, there's so many things that go into that you don't know, kind of like what you're saying. You don't know how they got there or who was involved, or, you may pass them up the next year or two and be ahead of them because of what you're doing now. You just don't know. And you can't have that comparison. It just doesn't matter,
It doesn't.
But if you look at the success this person's had over the last 5 years, it's unbelievable. The growth, the increase in production, the team side, the reach into the community, all the things that are happening. Just be happy with that, is what I think about, and quit comparing yourself. But we all kind of do that sometimes.
We do. We're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
So we are coming up on the last few minutes of the show, and I want to give you an opportunity to make a statement, give a statement, whatever is on your heart to say on today. Also give information about how our listeners and viewers can contact you.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I appreciate the opportunity to connect with you. As far as a statement, I think that it's really simple. My statement is about how great 2022 is going to be. And if there's something I can do to be a part of that, to make your life better, to give you guidance, to give you direction, to help you, whatever that is, I want to help. And it doesn't have to be business related. It could be personal. And, I just think the more people you can connect with and help, the better things are for all of us. And, on the flip side, I am at Service First Mortgage. We're excited for this year because of the things that we're working on inside our company.
Yes.
We're a very large established lender here in DFW in multiple places. The thing I focus on most is recruiting. So I definitely have some opportunities for growth. We'll work on coaching. And so if there's anything about business planning, coaching, events, I'm a guy to connect with to learn from me and what I'm doing. I'd love to hear from you. I read books all the time. I post about it. I teach classes as much as I can, especially on LinkedIn. That's one thing we've connected with. Follow me on LinkedIn. That's my main spot where I connect. I post every day. That's my commitment. I share a lot of things around, what it's like to work with me, what my core values are, things I'm learning about, just all different things. And so, that's what I'm about. That's what I'm here for. And this is really fun. I really appreciate the opportunity. So.
Good. I'm so glad that you were able to join me on today. I appreciate you for making time. I'm glad that I know you, and I'm excited for 2022 as well. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I would like to thank our partners again, our sponsors. I'd like to thank Lyndon with The Difference, who has definitely made the difference. And this has been Chit Chat with Char, where our mission is to connect, collaborate, and cultivate meaningful relationships in the communities for the people that we serve. Thank you so much. This has been great. John, thank you again for joining me today. And I wish you all the best in 2022. And I hope you have major success.
Yeah, I hope you do too. The thing you left me thinking about is comparison is the thief of joy. I keep running that through my head because of what you just said.
I love that. Say that one more time.
Comparison is the thief of joy. So you got that running in my head right now today. And I think that's a big takeaway from just visiting today. So
I love that. I really love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, this has been Chit Chat with Char. Thank you guys for joining us. Join us on next Wednesday where we'll have another special guest. Thank you.
Sure.
Coming in 2022, the Patriot Owned Businesses live stream and podcast show, powered by The Difference Radio, live stream and podcast, the voice of small business and the communities they serve. The Patriot Owned Businesses live stream and podcast show will spotlight Patriot Owned businesses that are making the difference in the communities they love and serve. So if you are a Patriot-owned business or you love supporting Patriot-owned businesses, stay tuned for more details coming soon.